This is one of the most exciting things that's happened probably in the 21st century. There was the invention of the wheel, the first computer, there was the first TV, there was silent films moving to the talking pictures, black and white to color, and now we have Blue Whale AI. This is our biggest update that we've done to date. For the time being, this is going to be the most revolutionary thing that you've seen in regards to home service AI. And by the way, this isn't like a new product. This is going to be implemented into all of our systems. When you have different AIs, let's say you have a chat AI, you have an outbound voice AI, you have an inbound voice AI. You may not know this, but it's not one AI doing three different things. It's actually three separate AIs that are doing their best to communicate with each other. But if you've done business with other companies where the chat AI overlap the outbound voice AI, you call the AI picks up, you have a whole conversation with it, you schedule an appointment, the confirmation comes in, then the person texts back, and the chat AI is like, hey, how can I help you? So that is a problem that happens all the time. Now, the reason that this happens is because you might think that it's one AI doing all these different things, but it's actually, the companies are actually developing three different AIs and trying their very best to get them to communicate properly. The problem is it's very, very hard to do that. So how this works and what makes it so cool without giving away our secret sauce. Essentially, all of the AIs are now going to be one singular AI working from the same data, which is awesome because in that same scenario that I gave you, if I were to text back after chatting with the inbound AI, the chat AI would now be able to reference me by name, find the data that I had just given it, right? It won't necessarily have a list of every single thing we talked about, but what it will have is it'll have the appointment, it'll have the location, the address, phone number, email, all of that will be saved. And vice versa, you can set the appointment with a chat AI and then actually call your inbound AI to reschedule, and it can find what's going to happen because all the information is getting stored in a database. As the AIs are chit-chatting, that specific customer is going to have an ID. So that ID is always going to be where all of the data underneath that person is going to be nested. And so it doesn't matter which AI they're chatting with. It's always going to go look for their ID in the database, and it's going to find all of the stuff that's underneath their packet of information, and it'll be able to reply based off of what is there. All of these companies, sometimes they set up a chat GPT for you. They call your AI receptionist, and all the AI is doing is chit-chatting back and forth. That's very not useful. For an actual use case, it does nothing. There needs to be specific functions that are happening within the conversation, and that's accomplished through our middleware that we built out. Here's an example. We generally don't want an AI to be on for commercial work. Unless your commercial businesses are very small. You want to save these people for their account managers or their reps or their technicians or whoever their contact is at your company that's doing business with them. Those are the people that you want to handle your commercial. So the only disqualification that is in our Blue Whale AI is to make sure they're not a commercial client, to make sure that they're a residential customer. It stops them in that function. And you can think of functions as a flow chart. The second they accomplish one thing, they move on to the next thing and so forth, right? It's a way to kind of guide the conversation. But what AI enables you to do, it's kind of similar to what you were doing back in the day that. Now the AI can chit chat and they can go off on conversations and the AI can bring it back to the function that it's at. Because all an AI knows is what the task at hand is, and it's just trying to get that one thing done. And if it's a commercial business, it'll just stop and be like, cool, I'll have somebody reach out to you. Now, if it's a residential customer, now we move on to the next function. And this is going to be a bunch of custom global questions that you want every single person to answer. That might be the age of the home. Are you the homeowner? Is this an emergency? It can be anything you want, but this will be asking every single person. Once all of the global questions have been answered, the last of the global question is really going to be, what's the service? Once the AI is communicating with this code base in the middleware, that's all right, cool, I'm on this last part. I need to know what service they need. As soon as it gets that, it's going to move on to the next function, which is going to be a custom service question. So let's say that the service required is a new roof or something like that. Okay, cool. We need to figure out what questions we want to ask a roofing customer. Is this a replacement? Is this for a repair? Do you need an inspection? You're basically doing exactly what a rep would do just with an AI. And then after that's done, then we can look for the right technician in the right place, the right time, and actually schedule the appointment. But that's what we were able to do before. Now, what makes it so cool is that once that appointment has been scheduled, let's say that was scheduled through email bot or an SMS bot. Now, if I call back, it's going to find in database, based off of my customer ID, all of this information, and it will have that. They're going to call back. They're going to have some questions like, oh, I need some receipts. I need to reschedule. I need to cancel. It's going to be able to reference even months later, even years later, all the information that we saved in the database so that it can pick up the conversation from there. The thing about it is that I think that a lot of people don't even realize what a big deal this is. But this is, I assure you, a very big deal. And if you've had really bad experiences with AI before, it's likely because this problem was not solved. So that's all I wanted to say for right now. As much as we know in recorded history, there has never been a bigger living thing than a blue whale. Even bigger than all the dinosaurs, bigger than absolutely every single animal that has ever walked the face of this earth. Blue whales are the biggest. You can Google that. I'll see you soon, and thank you for tuning in. More to come. Later.